My name is Vera Kolkoff. I'm a practicing barrister and I'm an author of a book called Freedom from Fear. That chronicles my life's journey and the numerous lessons that I learnt that I think will empower humanity to step to the next level. That's my aim. I know it's a big mission, but that is what's exciting me. I call myself a techno bimbo. I had no idea where to go or what to do, and my experience was that there were too many roads that you had to travel on. So, you needed an editor, then you needed somebody to do the cover, then you needed somebody to do the publishing, and then there were all these different options for publishing, and it got very confusing. I was looking for a one-stop shop, and that's when I found Sydney O'Sullivan. Well, my view always is that there are no coincidences in life. I immediately made contact, and my view is that you've got to speak to somebody to know whether they're a fit. I spoke to Sydney and her expertise simply glowed through, and I thought, I found my one-stop shop. This is going to be phenomenal. I had to shift work commitments in order to make it happen at the 11th hour. The experience here from the beginning has exceeded my expectations to such a degree. I don't even have the words to actually express it, because there were things that were put in place that are aimed at assisting people like me that don't even know where to start in terms of publishing a book, to all the bits and pieces that need to be glued together to make it happen. So it's been phenomenal. It's been really wonderful. So far, we've practicing how we're going to pitch and sell our book was something that came out of left field for me, because all I was thinking was, well, you publish it and then what happens? You get it out there. How to market has opened up another massive window for me. I had no idea that marketing could be so complicated and could involve there were so many aspects to it, particularly with digital technology. So there's been a lot of information on that front as well, which has been very helpful for me. Don't think twice. If you've got a book and you've got something to share with the world, Sydney's your person, because you're not going to be able to find that one-stop shop anywhere else. I couldn't. That doesn't exist. The book retreat is a learning experience and has lots of expertise. As I said, I'm a practicing barrister, and if you want legal issues resolved, you find an expert to deal with those. This is no different. You go and you find somebody who's got the expertise, and Sydney has the expertise across the board on so many fronts. Some of the practical issues, like for example, having your photos taken, like for example, doing your pitch, toning your message is obviously critical, and that's where you need the help. And Cindy was very helpful in terms of guiding people as to how they could better hone their message and get it out.
I was going from my photography business of 40 years as a wedding portrait photographer to moving into coaching. And I had this black wall up in front of me, and I don't know what it was, but I didn't know what direction to go. So I was going from one sort of business to another, and I just didn't know what to do. So I was like lost in the fog. Fortunately, there was something inside of me spending that day with you, with your presentation. And I was one of the guys, that don't hang on after seminars. I'm the first one out the door, but it's something that you presented to me on that day that I just sat there and felt something inside that says, this is it. And I still get emotional now. I didn't know what to do. So I phoned my wife and I said, can you get here? I think I'm going to spend a lot of money, but I want you to approve, and I want you to meet the person I'm going to spend it with. And she came and we had a chat. And she said, it's up to you. If you really want to do this, I'm happy. We'll put in the money and we'll find the money. And that was life-changing for me, just that moment. And I'm forever grateful for you for that. It was where I am now, 10 years later, is because of that moment. I changed photographers' lives. And I know how they're feeling because you changed mine. It's right. Truth. And I still feel that the way I felt.
So I was looking for a publisher, and it was a publishing deal with Sydney O'Sullivan. Not only was she going to edit my book, support me, mentor me, but she was going to help me get it out there to the public. Thank goodness I bought in on that program, because so this is the best business card I've ever designed, and the promotional idea of the book was just fantastic. The media, the TV, the radio, the newspapers were calling on me.
And do you think that they were more engaged because you had a book? Do you think that made it a much better story?
100%. This gave me so much credibility and integrity in the public eye. 90% of my book sales have been in America, and all over the world. There's nothing better than getting an email from somebody in Zimbabwe saying, I've just read your book, I love it, it has changed my life, thank you very much. Oh my goodness. So the office, the phones did not stop ringing. So as soon as people started seeing the book out there, looking at the media stories, people wanted to list their properties with me. So my business probably took in about $100,000 in new business from the book being released. So it was an incredible boost to my bottom line in the business, and I guess from there people then started taking real notice. I started getting people knocking on the door saying, I'd like to buy your business. I'd like to buy in on your business. I'd like to invest in your business. But you know what? It's freaking awesome. It's like living the dream. This is, if you told me 3 years ago this is what I'd be doing right now, I wouldn't believe you. But things can happen very quickly. You need to engage someone like Sydney, and thank you very much. Without your help, I don't think I would be sitting right here right now.
How did we help?
I didn't know what to do next. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know how to format. I didn't know I didn't know what to put on the front cover. But Sydney was able to actually explain how it works, put it all together for me, and in fact go above and beyond what I had actually paid for. I know that you did. Amazing. So look, I guess it was more just a bit of structure for where I needed to go. It gave me stability, it gave me reassurance, and I'm very grateful, because without you, I wouldn't have known. I would have been Googling still, trying to figure it out.
You've got all that media, you built your business up, sold your business. People are actually saying, come and help us grow our businesses, right?
So the exciting part is there are opportunities coming at me. My future I know is bright. I just don't know what it is, but I'm ready for it. Amazing views. I've got, I don't have to worry about money. The money's freaking great, actually. The situation. I can travel. I can, it's just exciting. It's so exciting, and I would just say, look, my advice is anybody who thinks that they've got a book in here, put it on paper, talk to this lady, get her to publish it for you. Your life will change.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much for spending the time to give us this interview, to inspire all the other authors out there.
Just do it, folks. Just do it.
Welcome to Talking About Success. I'm your host, Jack Canfield, America's #1 success coach, chairman of the Canfield Training Group, and the author of numerous New York Times best-selling books, including the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, and most recently, The Success Principles, How to Get From Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. Sydney O'Sullivan started her first business at 27, and she was a millionaire by the age of 38. Now, I know you've written a lot of books. I know you work with a lot of authors, and you teach that people can play and should play a bigger game in life.
I've just kind of become known. Since I wrote my first book, people started asking me, how did you get the book written? How did you get so many amazing interviews? And so I've been helping other people write their books for almost 10 years now. And what we start with is, what is the big game for you? What's the big vision you have? Where do you want to end up? You and I, Jack, we've had some amazing experiences, and they don't happen by accident usually. You have to have a plan, right? Mm-hmm. So we sit down, we plan out what's the biggest game that we're looking for, and then we think about how can we make the book support that goal. You've done this with Success Principles, for instance, right? You wrote the book and you've turned it into a huge training program with thousands of coaches.
Right, no, it's true. I always say the book is just one aspect of being what I often call an informational utility. You want to transform lives, and once you have a book, one of my friends says, you make more money talking about your book and explaining your book and doing things off the book than you ever make from the book itself for most people. And so we have a coaching program, we have trainings we do, we have online courses we do, and we're training trainers to do this work on, I think now 117 countries. So yeah, the book's one piece of a much larger strategy to transform the world, to inspire people to live their highest vision in the context of love and joy.
And you even had those kind of amazing goals when you did your Chicken Soup for the Soul book series. You set a goal that you wanted to impact. How many lives was it? It was 1 billion or?
1 billion lives.
1 billion lives.
Yeah. I think we've done that. Just, literally, we sold 315 million books in China. And I know most books are read by more than one person there. Lots of, probably 100 million books in India. I've been to India. I see the books get passed around a lot. Been on television shows, many of them seen by 40 million people at a time. The movie The Secret was seen all over the world by tens of millions of people. We want to impact a lot of people. And we don't have to know how we're going to do it. We just have to set the goal. Because a lot of people laughed at us. A billion people.
I was going to ask you, did
crazy?
People say, are you crazy, right? Yeah, I get that all the time.
Our publisher said we were crazy.
Yeah.
And we sold 135,000 by Christmas, 1.3 million. Now we missed it by a little bit. He stopped laughing.
Yeah. You talk about how your publisher laughed at you, but didn't you have like 144 publishers reject you when you first came out with the concept?
Yes, everyone said the title's stupid, and 144 rejections over the course of about 18 months.
Wow, and you didn't take no, you just kept going. And I actually recommend to most of my clients that they self-publish. Even though we have relationships with big traditional publishers, I just find that when you self-publish today with all the great technologies available, you have so much control. And when you're really good at internet marketing like my team are, you can do phenomenal things like,
Sure.
The things that some of the big internet marketers are doing with their books now. They're getting hundreds of thousands of books sold and getting the contact details of the people and then turning that into money.
And if we sell it ourselves, we get all the profit. So this is great. So if people want to work with you, where do they go? How do they connect with you?
So you can find all my websites on sydneyosullivan.com. We go right up to completely customized elite services where we'll help people write their book, right through to getting them on the media. And the thing about getting a book written is you should definitely be getting out in the media. Do everything you can. One of my clients had a most amazing success story a few months ago. She had a real estate agency. She basically wrote her book really quickly. She had a bit of a different twist on real estate management. She sent her book to the local media. She got a cover of a local magazine. She got on the TV. And literally it put about $200,000 in extra income into her business over the next week. And then she sold her agency for over 7 figures a couple of months later, right before COVID. She's loving me right now because she's out of the business and she gets to consult now to real estate agencies all over the world and real estate investors. So the power of books and media together is phenomenal. Don't just write a book and then expect it to sell itself.
It's true. It's like you can't have a child and not raise it. You have to do the work to get it out there to the public because it's, and you've worked so hard on the book. You've got to be willing to make sure that everyone knows about it and is willing to read it. Otherwise, it doesn't have the impact that you want to have on the world. Well, if you're someone who's got an idea you want to get out to the world, if you've written a book but it hasn't gotten to where you want it to go yet, and you want to build a whole business around it, clarify your brand, get all the media to work in today's world, which is a continually changing, evolving game of social media and so forth, Sydney can help you do that.